You say that you are one of those who suffers tremendously and has no choice but to own the suffering and say, "My sin did this, and it is due to my own choices that I now suffer." You think of the egregious sins of youth, which you feel are now causing devastating consequences, reaping what you have sown. And you say this causes constant regret, shame, and a feeling that you are still under punishment from God, even though you know that that last point is probably not true. You say it's not just a matter of believing you're forgiven and then moving forward. You feel that the wayward days are going to cost you your life, and that it is a heavy weight to carry, knowing that you are spiritually forgiven, but that does not change the facts of the state you are in right now. Your prognosis, and this knowledge robs you of peace and joy despite following the commands of Christ in the present day. You must understand that there is something truly mystical about receiving forgiveness. With it comes a great liberation, a great cleansing, a great transformation. And the more one is in need of forgiveness, the more the awareness of that divine forgiveness lifts you up into a lightness of being, into a joy, into a new beginning, regardless of your physical state. So I would suggest that there is something that has not fully received the extent of that forgiveness, the love that is there for you from your Creator. Your reference to God's punishment, even though you don't really believe that's the case, suggests that even subconsciously there is something that feels it deserves the punishment or does not grasp the nature of God, who is a God of love, not of punishment, who reigns on the just and the unjust, who says, "Go and sin no more," who goes to the lost sheep, finds the one, leaving the 99 behind, who embraces the return of the prodigal son. The more you are conscious of this love and acceptance, of this unconditional love, the more healing you can find mentally, emotionally, physically, psychologically. You speak of the consequences. Nevertheless, if you bring to what you are dealing with physically, if you bring to it that sense of renewal, that sense of joy in the moment, that sense of love for God as He has loved you, as He loves you, there is a transcendence of the physical troubles, and they are no longer seen as consequences of past sins or missing the mark, as it originally means, just as all have missed the mark. And with that state of lightness and peace and joy can come some physical relief as well. So at the heart of the matter is What is it within you that holds on to regret and shame and those very things that are meant to evaporate in the light of new becoming, of metanoia, change of mind, of new direction? You may be sure that God does not want you to remain in regret and shame, to the extent that even if the physical condition remains, there is a call here to be in peace and joy anyway. One that is not based on physical health, but on psychological, spiritual well-being. I urge you to receive this divine love throughout all of your being, into yourselves, into your soul, so that it truly immerses you in the consciousness of the love that God has for you. We are not meant to be redeemed but still hold on to the baggage or live with consequences that weigh us down. If there are consequences on a physical level, let them not be emotional consequences. It is essential to turn toward the light, to look forward, to not dwell on the past, to recognize the second chance that is given, the rebirth that is given. Whether it translates into physical health is almost irrelevant. The issue is your psychological, emotional, spiritual well-being above all, which in turn can help your physical state. But it strikes me that what is behind all this is the inability to forgive yourself, even in experiencing something of God's forgiveness. You're holding on to regret and shame, even some sort of expectation and desire for punishment. And this is to miss the deepest meaning of this forgiveness. We are not meant to live through this life only as a result of our actions and build our sense of self and identity on that. We are meant to discover our potential through a connection with the Holy that lifts us up to the best that we can be in terms of capacity for loving, for compassion, for blessing others. And that cannot happen when we are holding on to the old man rather than embracing the new man. And should you be looking for a miracle in physical well-being, begin with letting go of the past, of your feelings towards yourself, to allow the emergence of this self that knows it is forgiven and therefore can also forgive oneself. It is this freedom, this lightness, this clarity, this purification that is the whole purpose of our existence. And however much longer it lasts, under what conditions, the key is to let that light shine through you to others, and it will transform even the past. This is the true miracle, and it may well include a physical. So dare to let go completely. Recognize that in God's forgiveness is true absolution and understanding. You and all the dynamics of life, and recognize that what is wanted from your Maker is a complete inner healing during this journey through life.